This is why right now when you're talking about this DEI BS, and this guy introduces Scale AI CEO, explain why his company will hire for MEI, not DEI. DEI stands for what? Diversity, equity, and what? Inclusion, something like that. Yep. MEI stands for merit, excellence, and intelligence. Good for you to say something basic like that, right? Let me read this article to you so you know what this is. Scale AI CEO Alexandr Wang announced a hiring policy focused on merit, excellence, and intelligence, contrasting with the popular diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. Wang emphasized Scale is a meritocracy, and we must always remain one, adding talent is our number one input metric. Wang's MEI policy has garnered praise from industry leaders, including Musk and Jerry Tan. Wang stated no group has a monopoly on excellence. A hiring process based on merit will naturally yield a variety of backgrounds, perspective, and ideas, arguing that treating candidates as individuals, ensuring fairness and respect. Scale AI, valued at $14 billion, has achieved significant milestone, including partnerships with OpenAI, government contracts, and a recent $1 billion funding round. Tom.
Newsflash. The entire stock market is a meritocracy. Either you have the numbers and the performance to back it up, or you don't. And it takes great people of all backgrounds, measured very simply. Do you have the merit, the excellence, and the intelligence for that job? Because we want to put a whole bunch of them together. And let me tell you, I've been part of a lot of these companies. And I'll tell you, I don't care if you're green, purple, or blue stripes. It doesn't matter to me. If you can do the job with excellence and you're bringing the greater intelligence to it, then guess what? You're helping the company, and the entire stock market is a meritocracy. And when we sit here and suddenly want to talk about, oh, DEI, and it's about feelings, and it's about hidden political agendas, we're missing the part that it's about merit. You know, but we were just talking about Caitlin Clark. I won't go back to it. I'll just say there are number one draft picks, and then there are number one draft picks that were the greatest statistical college player in history. Well, Scale AI is saying if we want to be a great company, I need great people. And I'm not going to be bullied, which is a lot of what he talked about, into DEI. I'm going to put great people on the ground and build a great company. I'm worth $14 billion today. We're going forward tomorrow. And you know what? See you on the stock market. It's all a meritocracy.
Adam.
Well, can I just circle back to the Clayton Clark thing real quick? 'Cause I love what this MEI thing stands for. I think, people are so over the DEI situation, and as Elon Musk
quick
famously
on Clayton Clark, because we're on MEI, so stay on MEI.
As Elon Musk famously said, DEI must DIE. You talked about capitalism, and the stock market is capitalism. I think that the WNBA thing, keeping it afloat, is not capitalism. I think it is crony capitalism. We can disagree on that. I think they're keeping this company afloat. I think it's a zombie company. And if it was any other company, they would fail. That's me. Freedom to buy, freedom to sell, freedom to try, freedom to fail. This is the equivalent of just bailing out a company that should have failed. The difference is with the MEI, this is actually based on meritocracy. You want to see an actual meritocracy, go have Labrina James show up at the WNBA game, and let's see if a man dressed as a woman, white chicks vibes, shows up and how he does against Caitlin Clark. I think the reversion to the mean is actually happening. There's corrections and there's overcorrections. Everything that's happened with Black Lives Matter, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter. Well, it turns out they were a fraud. Everything that's happening with the gays for Gaza, oh yeah, we got to protect, it's genocide. Yeah, it turns out that they're actually a bunch of psychopaths, and they're an Islamic terrorist group. All the truth will set you free. I think the truth will come out, and all the DEI checking all the boxes is going to fail. And just like you see what's happening in the House of Congress right now, the House of Representatives, congressional Republicans introduced the Dismantle DEI Act by Senator J.D. Vance, aiming to ban all DEI programs and funding in the federal government. So it's going to fail, it's going to die, and DEI must die.
Because it's reverse discriminatory, and J.D. Vance is right.
Yeah.
And by the way, DEI is the reason why WNBA was failing, and MEI is why Caitlin Clark just got paid $28 million.
Yep.
That's simple.
But
and FYI, when it comes down to capitalism, if you think about Lion Holding, okay, our businesses that we have, some of the businesses that we have, like we're going to fund movies and documentaries. You don't necessarily buy all of these movies and invest into the movies and documentaries because you're planning on being a billionaire. That's not necessarily a motive for us. We're planning on making certain movies and having certain actors because there's a messaging and a cause that we have. The NBA can look at WNBA as a form of their non-profit organizations, for instance, right?
Yes.
Like that's their charity.
Literally.
You're right. No, you're right.
Literally.
However, check this out. Sometimes, there are these things called accidental millionaires, and there are these things called accidental celebrities and accidental billionaires and accidental leaks. This paddle whatever thing is that's going on, it's becoming an accidental leak. Do you know what happened with poker, World Series of Poker? Accidentally, it took off. Do you know what ESPN did when they had a domino tournament? You know what happened? It accidentally failed. You know what the market said? We're not. There used to be domino tournaments on ESPN. Do you know what else was on ESPN back in the days? Bodybuilders used to go work out, and you would watch a 30-minute video. Do you remember this?
Hell yeah.
Back in the days, ESPN, Flex Wheeler would train. Matarazzo would train. All these guys would train. Guess what the market said? Yeah, we don't want to watch it. Great, you move on. But the MEI validates why Caitlin Clark is getting paid $28 million. MEI validates why capitalism works, and DEI validates why it doesn't work.
I think Caitlin Clark, to separate, I actually think that she's the reason that we're even talking about the WNBA. So just to be clear, she's the reason that this league is even relevant. So I do agree that she's lifting the tide for all these players. But so I'm just separating her from the WNBA. Without her, this league should have failed. It should still fail. I think there's one thing that we're forgetting. It's longevity. There's short term and there's long term. I think in the short term, we're talking about her. She just became the lead scoring champion of college basketball. There's one thing that she has to do for us to keep talking about her beyond this season. Win. If this woman doesn't win and she doesn't continue to put butts in seats, it's here today, gone tomorrow. So just like Ronda Rousey, nobody talks about her these days. Danica Patrick, amazing. Nobody talks about her.
I love her.
Venus Williams, she was the GOAT before Serena Williams. Who talks about her these days? If Caitlin Clark doesn't win, then she's going to be irrelevant just like the rest of these celebrities.
You know what the NBA was worth in 1983? NBA valuation in 1983. Okay.
This was when Dr. J was winning championships, just when Magic and Bird were going at it.
NBA's revenue in 1983. You know what it was? $118 million. Let me say this one more time. Tom, did you hear what I just said?
Yes, I did.
The revenue of NBA was $118 million in 1982, 1983. It's at $4.6 billion.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I'm with Michael, is it Reinsdorf? Jerry Reinsdorf. Who's the owner today? It's the son. Can you type in Michael Reinsdorf? And I'm with him 4 weeks ago in Chicago at a Goldman Sachs event. So type in Michael Reinsdorf. He's the owner. That's the son right there to the right. Not Jerry, but the son. Okay. So I asked him a question. His father bought the Chicago Bulls. Can you pull up what Jerry Reinsdorf paid for the Bulls? I want to say he bought it for $8.4 million. I may be off by a couple hundred, $9.2 million. His father bought the Bulls for $9.2 million in 85. Can you check what the Chicago Bulls are worth today? What is the Chicago Bulls worth today? Okay. Chicago Bulls valuation. What's the Chicago Bulls worth today? Yeah.
Great type of Rob, by the way. I can't.
Worth today. Watch this. Okay. 2023, 4.6. Wow. Today, it's $5 billion. You know what's $9.2 million into $5 billion? How many X is that, by the way? That's nearly 500X, give or take, okay? What happened for the Chicago Bulls to go from being worth $9 million?
Michael Jordan, he's French.
One German,
French.
right?
What's French basketball
with
player?
A French basketball. Michael Jordan changed the game. Here's what we're doing at the Comedy Club, 5990 Live. We and our staff will be watching the debate, and we'll do a podcast that night. The debate is at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10:30. So we're talking about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will probably start at 8:30 and go till about 11:30 and comment on it. And there's going to be an audience there of our teammates, and family and friends will be there as well. However, for the first 50 people that purchase $300 worth of merch, we will give you 2 tickets to come and attend the event with us.
Sick.
And people that purchase the $300 worth of merch, priority for seats will be based on first come, first serve.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.